Hey guys, so this is another video I promised I was going to do. If you saw my Bray Wyatt passing video I made talking about him, I said during that I was gonna be talking about a little bit about Terry Funk, who also passed away a day earlier than Bray. So yeah, this is my video talking about a little bit about the living legend, the hardcore living legend, known as Terry Funk. And this is going to be a little bit shorter than the Bray window one that I made because I don't have much to say about Terry as I don't have I haven't seen too much work of him, but I have seen enough to want to talk about him. And yeah, and he was Terry Funk was like, I think Terry Funk's legacy will probably be like influencing hardcore wrestling along with Mick Foley and a few others and stuff. He really influenced that, like the matches. Like when you ever see footage of the original ECW back in like the mid 90s, where they were pushing fed through all these chairs at like Cactus Jack Terry Funk. That when you ever see like ECW tribute packages, this footage is always shown on those packages. Like it was memorable stuff. And I haven't seen too much of it, and I never too much seen of his older stuff like that in the 70s and the 80s. He was NWA champion for over a year, and he really tried elevating it throughout the 70s and the 80s. Apparently he did WWE back in the mid 80s. I did remember only one match of him against Hulk Hogan in like 86. It was years ago on YouTube. I saw this match very brief, and Terry Funk, like his in style, always had that raw, no nonsense, like ruthless style that he had in the ring. Like he always had that, whether because he didn't do too much hardcore stuff in his early stuff, like in the 70s and the 80s and stuff like that. He did the stuff in the mid 90s, I think, when he started to in the 90s when he was starting to do that. And the two things I like fondly remember Terry Funk was the ECW run and his WWF one where he came back in like 1998 as Saint Shaw Charlie. With ECW, he returned and I think right off the bat won the ECW World title, I think. Yeah, and he had that infamous match with Sabu. I actually kind of rewatched this recently, even before the passing. And yeah, that was pretty rough to watch as to see both Terry and Sabu pretty much stalking Paul Ryan's. Like, Terry, I think later on, kind of like he almost was dying from that. Like his neck was like hanging from that Paul Ryan stuff like that. Like, it was rough seeing it, and that whole stuff improvised that whole match because Sabu won when I don't think he wasn't supposed to. So yeah, that was rough, and like yeah, so that happened. Then he came back to the WWF in 1998 with Royal Rumble, He came back, changed up Charlie. And did he start off the match with Captain Jack? I think. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, they started off that 98 run, I believe. And then that prompted off their start as a tag team with the New Age Outlaws. WrestleMania 14, they had a dumpster match against the New Age Outlaws, and they won the tag team titles. Only to drop them, I think, the next night or Raw, with back to the New Age Outlaws. So yeah, and then they feuded with one another. They had I think, a hardcore match on Raw one time. With him and I don't know because I think it was during the time when Dude Love was feuding with Steve Austin, and they did that match. I think that's Mick Foley versus Terry Funk in a hardcore match on Raw in '98. That was memorable, and I'll never forget the Hell in a Cell '98 with Undertaker making to the roof of the cell that Terry Funk had to come and step in completely shoot wise, and the Undertaker show slamming Terry Funk right out of his shoes. That's when you know that was sure that the Undertaker literally show slammed Terry Funk out of his shoes. So yeah, and he did that one time. He did came back to WWE again in like 2006, and he did a program again with Mick Foley, and that promo when he came back on Mick Foley, like that was the funniest thing where he pretty much threatened Mick, his wife, his kids. And then, like, when he saw that's when Mick Foley got infuriated and stuff. That was like bizarre, really funny promo that Terry called that on that one episode on Raw, Mick Foley. And then that hardcore match, and then that tag match at One Night Stand with him and Tommy Dreamer against Mick Foley and Edge. That was crazy. Like the amount of stuff like Terry Funk did to his body, the amount of crazy shit he done over the years. It's a miracle that he was able to live to 79. Yeah, like more wrestlers do the most stupidest, crazy shit, and take, they still manage to roll by all of that. Crazy, and while Terry Funk, I think, got to a point where he just became one of those wrestlers that just hang on until the wheels fall off, until their bodies were like so beaten down and stuff. But yeah, so I'm not gonna grab too much because he was a nice dude from what I've heard stories of other wrestlers. Like he was a nice dude. Like he did a lot for the business, and he really influenced and elevated so many people through his time with the wrestling business and stuff. And yeah, like I said in the other video, like I kind of get desensitized to wrestling deaths, and this was kind of one of them because it's like, yeah, it's another dude gone, never to be seen from heard from again in the wrestling world. Like so many people, like people die every year. But yeah, we will miss the Funker and we thankful for him for his contributions, influences to the wrestling business, and he is for sure a living legend, for sure. So yeah, so that is my thoughts on Terry Funk's legacy in wrestling. And like this video if you haven't, subscribe here. Tell me what you think of share your favorite memories and moments of Terry from the comment section below. And as always, I'm Jason Martinez and I approve this message.